And now, live from Isolation Station in Burbank, California, it's the Plague Week 58 to the Alison Rosen is Your New Best Friend show. Tonight, Alison welcomes her guests. He's a writer, producer, and the voice of many audiobooks, which means he's also an all-natural cure for insomnia. It's Eric Martin. And she's a comedian and podcaster who's almost figured out what she's going to be at the end of the pandemic. She's narrowed it down to ghost hunter, maker of satisfying soap carving videos, and podcaster, but more successful. It's Renee Colbert. Tone Zone is here to inform you regretfully that it is impossible for him to take any man seriously whose name is Doodles. I'm her husband Daniel, saying hop on board the love bus and say hello to your new best friend, Alison Rosen.
Alison Rosen. Alison Rosen is your new best friend. Alison, with her good times never end. Alison Rosen, doing the wavy pencil dance again. Allison's your new best friend.
Hello, my little malongas. Welcome to another exciting episode of Alison Rosen is Your New Best Friend, that particular carbohydrate, which is a starchy root vegetable, which I was unfamiliar with until but a moment ago, was sent in on Patreon by Lauren Kelly. Now, there is some excitement about malongas in the Patreon comment section because Lauren Kelly submitted it and then Lisa Lowry was like, oh yeah, forget mine, that one. And I don't understand the fanfare for this particular tuber. I don't know if it's an inside joke among them. I don't know if it's something that came up on the BFF fan cast. I don't know. If anyone here knows malongas, work that into conversation later. They're also known as taro. There's also some cocoa yam or something. I don't know. It looks from the outside like a hairy turd, but the inside is sort of like a geode, much more beautiful. Anyway, patreon.com/Alison Rosen, all sorts of fun stuff, bonus episodes, Zoom parties. There's a new reward that I'm offering, which is if you are at the confidant level, you can text me and you can receive text from me. And I've been doing it for like a week now. And I've been having so much fun doing it. And I think the people who are receiving and sending the text are also having fun. So, get on that. Okay. Very excited to welcome my guests. Now, someone has been missing on this show for the last year. He's made periodic appearances on the Monday show. He's still been doing the intros. But my husband, Daniel Quantz, has not been on the Thursday shows.
Cancel culture.
Daniel, welcome.
Hi, everybody. So excited to be back.
It's nice to see you. You are in the house. I am in the studio. Yeah. You're in the house because I'm afraid of what would happen if we both Zoomed from the same room. I think it would be chaos with the slight delay.
We couldn't be on separate Zooms. We'd have to sit shoulder to shoulder, which it's like I'm not the kind of person that sits shoulder to shoulder with one other person at a restaurant. I'm not going to do it on a Zoom.
I'm glad that you have principles.
You know those people? They'll go as a couple and then they'll sit on the same side of the table.
And you're like, what are you trying to prove? Oh,
we,
I get
Paris?
it. You're in love.
Yeah. Come on.
I would like to say hello to my other guests. Returning to the show, Renee Colbert, hello.
Hello. So happy to be here. I said this before we started recording. I think I'm responsible for this because I was just thinking how much I miss having Daniel on the show. And then he appeared. And a little bit like everybody's like, oh, what are you going to do once quarantine's over? This was it. So I did it.
I got an email.
This was my thing. Disneyland, vacations. I want to see Daniel.
I got an email from Facebook that was listening through your phone. Yeah. And they said, you need to be on the show.
Yeah. And I did say it out loud. Yeah. So I'm glad that
it was either this or an Instagram ad of my face.
Sure. Which is coming.
So Renee, this was your goal for when pandemic's over, which, by the way, I don't feel like it's over yet. I overheard our son saying, he was asking when we're going to go to Disneyland. And we were saying like, oh, I don't know. And then he's like, but the he calls it a virus, but the virus is over. And I thought, who told him that? I don't
listening to Fox News.
Yeah, I think that's what's happening.
Sorry.
am also very excited to welcome back to the show, currently beardless, Eric Martin. Hello.
Hello. Thank you for having me. I'm thrilled to see you all.
I feel like the last time you were on, you had just quite a majestic beard.
It's
right?
true. I had it for years, yeah, and then it's gone.
What
No more.
happened?
Yeah,
I mean, I could always grow it back, but I shaved it.
But I mean, I'm going to need just a skosh more than that. Unless it really was something where you're like, I don't know, what the hell, I'll shave it. I feel like more goes into that. I mean, Daniel has been on a hair journey this whole pandemic, and I'm intimately acquainted with his hair, which I find it like bits of it everywhere. But for you, what thoughts went into the shaving of the beard?
Yeah, I mean, it was really just, I've had this for a long time, more than I've ever had this on my face before. I don't remember what my face looks like. I think it's still good, but I'm not sure. So I gave it a try, and thankfully it worked. Meaning facially I like what I see, so I'm okay.
What were you worried were you worried there was like some chin atrophy or something?
Chin atrophy was a very specific worry that it there could have been wattles.
Gone.
It could
It's not there.
Yeah, I mean, what if it was discolored in a odd way?
Right.
Like that's something that a tan couldn't handle. Because it hadn't seen the sun in so long, so it hadn't seen anything other than hair for so very long.
You raise an interesting question. You didn't raise it, but what you said, it raised it in my mind. Is there
It's
such a
implied.
thing as like a beard tan?
There's gotta be, right?
Certainly, right?
But how come when men shave their beards and now there's 3? Hang on one second. I got ahead of myself. Tony Thaxton, hello and welcome.
Hello.
There we go.
My beard's back.
Yeah.
But, you judged him for possibly just shaving it just because, and that's what I did like a month or 2 ago.
But it didn't stick.
It didn't. Except for that time that I accidentally did it again using the wrong guard on my razor. Yeah. But we're back now.
Okay, so of the 5 of us here, 3 have shaved their beard. Did you have some weird beard tan situation happening afterwards?
I don't think I ever have. No.
No.
I have wondered that though, but I've never seen it or had it.
I shaved it in the middle of the summer, and it was unnoticeable. It was a little, pink from the shaving for a day or so, as I
Right.
recall, but not. I guess maybe the sun peeks through.
Do you guys find when you shave, especially in the mustache area, I can't tell if it's there's actually something happening where immediately post-shave there's some sort of swelling to the skin, or if it's just optically I'm so used to seeing a mustache there that it feels like the lip has like swollen or something. I always feel it's. Did you ever see the picture of what's his name playing Superman in Justice League where they digitally removed his mustache and it's really weird looking? That's how I feel like I look after I shave my mustache. But I don't know if it's just optical.
There's something about all that nakedness above the lip. It's like there was space there. There was no space there, and now there's space, and it's disturbing. It's like, oh, this should not be. But thankfully, it doesn't last too long. But yeah, it is shocking and upsetting when it happens.
That here's what I'm hearing is that there is a deep underappreciation for how juicy your lips are. You guys, beard, no beard, we gotta appreciate it.
Right.
Mwah.
Juicy upper lips is what they're talking. Like, it's the lip version of a fupa.
Oh yeah. Yeah, what is this called?
What is a fupa?
Oh, sorry, that's a fat upper pussy area.
I'm so glad I asked. Okay. I could have let that slide.
So it's a fula, fat upper lip area.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's the face equivalent of the taint.
And we should
between
call
the
it that
nose and
more.
the mouth.
A face taint.
Oh,
Yeah.
Taint the nose, taint the mouth.
Speaking of things that are a little gross or a little off color, I must issue a correction. Tony, what would we play if I'm issuing a correction
Tony Thaxton.
I walked right into that. So on the Ryan Sickler episode, which Tony was there for it. Tony's back on the Monday. Look, incrementally, we're getting back to the way it was. Tony's now back on the Monday shows. Daniel's here on the Thursday show. That was such a good episode, didn't you think, Tony? I mean, it wasn't one of my dogs that I usually put out.
Yeah, no, it was good. I knew his name, but I was not really familiar with him beside his name. So yeah, it was fun.
I thought it was, and it was like funny and honest and poignant. But anyway, I started by talking about something called, I referred to it as defecology, which is when, and there's a whole backstory to it. I'm not going to go into the whole story, but I was doing some reading on prolapse, which can happen after you have a baby, and there's a surgery to correct it. And someone I follow on Instagram just got the surgery, and I was like, how is this diagnosed? And there's something called, I was referring to it as defecology, but it's defecography or defecography, where you drink some kind of contrast and then you sit on a special toilet and you take a dump in front of clinicians, and I guess they watch like the magical path of the poop. Yeah. So I just want to say it is not called defecology, which I think would be the study of defecation, also something close to my heart, but defecography. And I still don't know whether this is Daniel looks like he wants to die.
Nobody's out there listening going, oh my God, can you believe Alison keeps calling it defecology?
But I think they are pondering who's got that on their diploma right now that's framed.
Right.
That's
a BA, a BM in defecology.
Yeah.
So lots of stuff to catch up on. Renee, your podcast, you have multiple podcasts, but your new podcast, My Pandemic Makeover Spectacular, is so good.
Oh, Alison.
It's really, I know your brand is downplaying yourself because I relate. But it's really, really good. I think you should be very proud of it.
Thank you. That means so much to me. You know, it's are we on? It's time to talk about Renee time, or are we still doing circles?
It's Renee time. Yeah, we can have Renee time.
Well, let me get cozy. So I think you guys know this. So, Eric, I wanted to create a show that would teach me how to edit.
Oh, I'm already a fan.
Oh, but you guys.
But
we
keep
should
going.
hang out more. Okay. So the plan essentially was like to teach myself how to like edit, and I won't do it if I didn't have somebody holding me accountable. Thinking that that'll just like light the fire to make me want to be a host. And what I'm finding is I love editing, and I love stories, and I love all the behind the scenes. Actually, being on mic is my least favorite part. So it's taken twists and turns that I couldn't possibly
I'm sorry,
have
but
imagined.
Who loves editing?
I know. I don't know what's happening.
I'm kind of on the same page with her there. It sort of depends on the show. Like, because certain like a show like hers, I feel like like you're saying, is kind of a little more telling a story and kind of like piecing everything together is kind of fun. Yeah,
it's. So with so interesting, and just, you know, how sometimes it's just nice that the timing of it worked out. So then there's a big show coming down the pike at work that is going to be a little bit more narrative and a little bit more highly edited. And had I not done this own like side project show, I wouldn't have known all the things I need to know to do this other show. So now I've got to like use every skill except for being on mic with this actual work project. And would you believe it, just as fulfilling? It's a very bizarre turn that I am finding that I like my little side hustle projects, but so long as I can be creative in some way, it's just good. Isn't that wild?
Now I want to ask questions about the big show coming down the pike, but I bet you can't talk about it.
I will in Q4. I'll tell you all about. Well, and I'll tell you all as soon as we get on.
I can't wait till
Zoom,
Q4.
Oh, this is a QAnon podcast? Is that?
Yeah. I'm so sorry, Tony. We meant to break that to you. But that means so much to me. And then, aren't you guys always so like truly touched when people who are in the exact same industry listen to your shit or like follow? Like when you write, would they read what you wrote, or when you do whatever? It means a lot. It's not a huge following, but the people that listen, I'm like, oh, well, thanks, guys. So.
You're changing lives, including your own.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Did you have any follow-up questions other than the twists and turns of me being on mic?
Well, so you're realizing you don't like being on mic. That's interesting.
You know,
I mean, you're someone who was on Broadway.
Yeah, you would think. I guess there's a quota for how many times I can be the star. No, I think it's more a realization of if I have to choose between working with a team or like doing all of the self-promoting and the thing, I am more comfortable on the team element. I hope down the road there's projects that I can still be on mic for, but if it's like you have to choose, then I would probably prefer the writing and the editing part.
Interesting. I had an experience recently, which everyone knows about because I've talked about it on every podcast I've been on, all of mine and other people's, I think.
Yeah.
Where I got into a little kerfuffle with some real horrendous bitches on a Facebook moms group that I'm a member of.
Yeah.
And these women, there's one in particular. This happened like 8 days ago. No, maybe 2. I don't know. It happened some time ago, and I still am thinking about it.
It was like 2.5 weeks ago.
It happened in Q1, Renee.
A Q1.
And man. There's one.
I'm glad you can talk about it now.
There's one woman. I mean, I was looking at her husband's Twitter account last night.
Right.
Like, because I just don't understand how he can be married to such just a massive bitch. And I was reading her LinkedIn. I'm like, what does I mean, it's like, it's insane. I'm insane. I am the poster person for, like, it's gone too far. I'm crazy. I just want life to just take a huge shit on her head. Like, she is just unbelievable. I hate her so much. Oh, but
yes.
But
yes.
Daniel, it's deserved, don't you think? Because she deserves my ire.
Yeah, she sounds.
Which one are you talking about?
What?
Whoa.
Which one are you talking about?
The main one. Yeah.
The nemesis.
Oh, yeah, she's awful.
Yeah.
Now, is she on the nose awful, where she's being directly mean, or she's being passive aggressive and condescending?
No, she's being very confrontational.
Oh, yeah.
And just awful. But I would say, like, she's not the only one.
No, there's a whole group of them, but she's the one where, like, in another group that I'm a member of, this whole fucking thing started because I was like, you know, I heard engagement on Facebook is actually greater than Instagram and Twitter, where I spend most of my time. So I think it would be good for me to like, even though Facebook is horrible, it would be good for me to just, be posting about my show on Facebook. And next thing I know, I'm sucked into this mom insanity. But there's another group that I'm a member of. And on that group, they were talking about something that had happened on the big group. And they were talking about this one woman said this thing, and I'm like, oh, I bet it's that particular woman. And it was.
She's everywhere. You can't shake her.
Yes. And by the way, I'm now not even angry at her over how she treated me. I'm angry at her over her existence, which is very irksome. But anyway, the point of all of this, besides letting me just let off some steam.
Yeah, of course.
After it happened, my run-in with them, which I found very upsetting, I was like, I don't want to be exposed and vulnerable and like putting myself out there anymore. I just like, what if I don't even want to be talking into a mic anymore? What if I want to just completely like lead a no longer on the internet existence?
Yeah.
Maybe you prefer editing.
But that's what
it's possible.
Except I really don't like editing. Other than that, I do. other than the fact that I really don't care for editing, I think I prefer editing. But that's what made me think of this.
Right.
Like, Renee, except that I was very aware that it was a temporary thing because, like, I feel like my whole thing is putting myself out there so that other people can be like, you're okay. And I'm like, thank you.
Right.
That's what keeps me going. That and my children whom I love and my husband. Hi, Daniel. But is that how you're feeling? Like you just want to be a not public person?
Yeah, I think so. Well, and I think it's the feeling that you feel, the like desperate, like, please love me, please follow me, please like me, like following the numbers of how many downloads had happened. And, yeah. And then a little bit also just being like completely unattainable. Like I gained a whole 12 followers out of this is just like So 12 a year. Okay. All right. By the time I'm 4,000, I should be able to be an actual, competitive source in this. So yeah, I think it's just feeling, not unique because of course everybody's feeling that way, but just maybe that's not the fabric I'm cut from. I might be more of a team player type of person. If I lived there, they're like, hey, great news. We're going to give you a show. Guaranteed success. Of course, that'd be fun. But I think it's the hustle of it feels crummy when I'd rather just focus on the work.
Yeah. I think we're all burnt out. Eric Martin, are you burnt out?
I mean, yes. I am, but I'm still plowing away.
Yeah. So what's your year been like? I know you have a book that has just come out. Congratulations.
Thank you. It started at the beginning of this last year period. And for me, in some ways, going into this pandemic, I had advantages. This booth that I'm in right now, that I'm usually in here 4 to 5 days a week anyway, recording audiobooks, talking to this microphone in front of me, while the outside world stays away and I'm just talking to one person. So in some ways, I was uniquely qualified to ride this out. For me, last March, I was like, I see this coming. I know this is going to be bad. And I can't stop this. So since it's happening, I might as well use this as an opportunity to finally write that book that I've been talking about. I knew that it was time to lock down. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to go out for one last night. I'll stay away from people. And I know that I'll probably won't see this again in 12 to 18 months. And I did, had a couple of drinks, enjoyed myself, and then promptly got sick 2 days later. And I was knocked out for weeks.
Was that COVID?
I don't know. That's the crazy part. I just don't know. Did you
get tested?
I was tested negative early on. Like 2 weeks later, I got one, didn't get it. Did an antibody test months later, but that was negative too. But I still had, symptoms. Like, thankfully, the fatigue, all that stuff went away. But God, I was knocked out and still had, chest pain. So
sounds COVID-esque.
Yeah,
it sure does, right? It's gotten better and better and better over time. So it's been good. So I've been able to be, working this whole time. But I was like, well, I went through this. Let's incorporate that into the book to some degree. It's not going to be about that, but that's going to be the backdrop. So I love playing video games, and that's a way of escape. So, there's things like Ready Player One where you jump into video game worlds, and then you're out. You're basically among people again. So I was thinking, let's have a book, a book where you can go into a game world. And I call it New Arcadia, and it takes you back to the 90s. So you don't have your cell phone. You've got a pager. You don't have the latest in fashion. In fact, you're wearing a fanny pack. What do you do?
That actually is, I think, fashionable now again. Just FYI.
Oh, great. Okay, good to know. But yeah, it was the purpose of going back into this game world to be in community, to be among people again. This is the only way we could do it, to actually be in a community by, being in a 90s beat 'em up video game. So that's the world I created. And it was scary to do that, but I've narrated so many audiobooks. I was like, well, the way I can do this and the way I can feel confident about this is to imagine it as an audiobook and write it for the people that I know and want to play the parts. And so I did it as a big multicast audiobook and got all these wonderful people to be a part of it, created a soundtrack, and just made it a whole production. And it was a blast and a joy, and it felt so amazing to write these things down. And then if I didn't like what I was saying, I could just change it. You can't do that in most books, but if you wrote it, you can change it. So that was nice.
Eric,
so cool.
I've noticed you never cast me in your audiobooks. And I feel like, and I say this as a friend, I feel like you're missing out.
I'm so glad, Alison, that you mentioned this, because here's what I want to tell you today. And it's a part of the reason I'm on the show. And you don't know this. But this is not just a single book. This is a trilogy.
Oh, my God.
Uh-oh.
So there's 3 books I have not been cast in.
Eric, you don't have to indulge this. This shamelessness.
And you don't have to say one way or the other. But in the sequel, it's going to take place in a 90s Brooklyn area.
Uh-oh.
Oh, boy.
but there's a role
Wait,
I think that you might be interested in. What's that?
Allison, have you lived in New York? Would you
I don't-
like no reference to this?
I don't talk about it often, Renee, but yes, I did live in New York for a large chunk of time. People always want me to talk about it, but I don't. I feel like I don't want to, I don't want to indulge that. But yes, I did live there. So
This is pretty serendipitous, guys.
it does. Renee, did you manifest this as well?
I did. Yeah. Listen, I spent all day long just working on what I want this Zoom to be, and it is all coming true.
I love it. Daniel, are you embarrassed to be married to me?
Yeah. It's all right, though.
Are you just sitting there being like, ugh, this is what I haven't been a part of for a year. Why did I come back?
No, but it's weird not being across the table from people doing the show.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's got a different.
I'm over a year in, and I'm still not used to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't wait till we can just say, screw it. Let's have people in.
Yeah. You know what I just realized this week is that if you are in a meeting with some bozos, you make them tiny. You just squish them. You just put them in the corner of your laptop. You didn't have to have them full screen this whole time. I just figured that out last week. It's
Wait,
the
what
power.
are you connecting with them on?
On Zoom, but like, you know how like you can make it the full screen, or then you can like
Oh,
shrink it
you mean
down?
like just like minimize?
Yeah. So now I just got a bunch of
just
little
the one
gremlins in the
person
corner
in the
being
thing?
like, buy, sell. Who cares?
Are you on the stock exchange? Is that where you're working now? Is your big project a big NASDAQ?
I've also just
show?
recently figured out mute and just assume that that's the agenda that they're really driving forward. But it's very powerful. If ever you're stuck in a Zoom that you don't like, just squish them. I can't recommend it enough.
Daniel, don't be doing that right now.
Is that gallery view? You do that?
You can do, or just grab the corner, take it with your mouse, and then drag it, and then there she goes.
Just make it
Itty-bitty.
small.
So like here, I'm doing my wife.
Okay.
Put it in the trash.
Well, now I want to see what happens. Oh my God!
Right?
How cute!
It's adorable.
Yeah.
And so, like, this thing that normally would be intimidating of just like, we need this by this. You're just like, oh, look at you yelling. You're so little.
You know what's crazy? I squished everyone. I dragged the corner, made it real small, and then pulled it back. And now everyone's in a different spot.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Renee, you're upper left.
I also
you were
manifested that.
bottom right.
Oh, yeah, you
I'm
can
gonna-
drag. I just discovered this as I was playing too. You can just drag people where you want them. On
Oh
the
my
screen.
God!
That's
I
wild.
didn't realize this either. This, oh my God, this audio podcast just really got kicked up a notch for everyone.
Eric, you just
Mine's
got top
not
billing.
doing that.
Try it, Daniel.
Oh, well.
What do you suppose the reason for that is? Screen grabs?
I don't know.
Why move people around like that?
I don't know.
Maybe if you're in like a huge group chat.
Oh, yeah,
on
you can
Zoom
decide
and
who you
want,
wanna
like,
see
certain
and
people
where,
to
yeah.
always
Oh,
be
I see.
visible,
Oh, I see.
maybe.
I see.
I don't know.
And if you're a control freak and you need to have everybody around your table, your virtual table, just so
Right.
you
Right.
can organize them, and that could if you're OCD, that could calm the demons, for example.
Look at
have
that.
people exactly where you want them.
And
this
You've
is a
thought of everything.
Just
this is a control you can't get in the real world.
maybe I am OCD or just a creature of habit, but I actually just put everyone back where they were when we started this meeting because it was bothering me
it's
adjusting.
a courtesy to your listeners as well, though, on the Patreon, right?
That's right.
Oh yeah,
I
because
don't
they're
want-
watching. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they're here on patreon.com. /Alison Rosen. That's where they can watch this video and they can actually get a bird's eye view if the bird is on the ground of of Daniel in our house and office, because that's where Daniel is, and you can see his organization systems and just a sliver of my desk, which I see that he has made it so he can't really.
This is where the mess begins.
Right where you're
Yeah.
pointing, yeah.
Right where that, and then the rest of it is just piles of junk.
Yeah.
That way, I have books, piles of books.
We recently, we are in the process of getting a mailbox in Burbank because our mailbox right now is across town, is on the west side. And they have a shredding service at this new mail place. It's $1 a pound. And Daniel has threatened to shred my
Everything.
whole desk.
Everything.
It's fine. Do it.
Put the
I don't
discard
need
on
that
in there.
stuff. I don't know where to begin to organize.
I mean, we end up keeping so much stuff that you're never, ever, ever, ever going to look at again or need.
I know. I want to tell them about what we found out about a certain person's headshot on the wall. But first, at the mail place. But first, I need to talk to you guys about something that would make a great Mother's Day gift or a gift for yourself. It is Pandora jewelry. They have, I don't know if you're familiar with Pandora jewelry. They have charm bracelets that you've probably seen people wear, like very cute charm bracelets where you can collect different charms. They have rings, stackable rings or statement rings. They have necklaces. They have all the kinds of jewelry. They have it. And it is, I was looking at the stacking rings earlier because I'm a fan of those. And I was like, I would like to buy all of them. Daniel, I don't know what you have planned for Mother's Day, but maybe I'll just buy something for myself. Did you say nothing?
Yeah, nothing.
Let mom know you'll always be by her side with a message of love that she can wear every day. Shop April 22nd through 26th and receive a free limited edition sterling silver bangle with your Pandora purchase of $150 or more. Pandora has gifts for every mom with new designs in their collection of contemporary classics. Thank the mom in your life for always being there with a sparkling gift from Pandora Jewelry. Shop online or in-store between April 22nd and April 26th and receive a bonus gift with your $150 Pandora Jewelry purchase, a limited edition sterling silver bangle. Go to us.pandora.net/convos to start shopping or find a store near you. That's us.pandora.net/convos, us.pandora.net/convos. I also want to tell you guys about something. Daniel, I hope this doesn't make you uncomfortable. It's a sex positive product that I'm going to talk about. Did you know women are 4 times more likely than men to say that sex is not at all pleasurable in the past year?
Not in my experience.
Dame is here to fix that. Their mission, cultivating pleasure to enrich well-being. Dame Products is a woman-owned sex toy company making the next generation of vulva-tested, vulva-approved vibrators. Founded by a sex educator and an engineering whiz, Dame develops toys with the help of real humans and couples like you. They're closing the pleasure gap and helping the world one vulva at a time. Their vibrators and accessories are made with medical-grade silicone, smart design principles, and lots of love, earning glowing press from the New York Times, W Magazine, and more. Whether you're a couple looking for an extra boost where it matters or on a journey of self-exploration, we're sure they'll earn a spot on your nightstand. And the best part, Dame offers hassle-free returns within 60 days, so your satisfaction is literally guaranteed. And I think the last time I talked about them, I mentioned, I feel like I, as an individual, have come a long way because there probably years ago, I would have been like, oh, I don't know. I'm not entirely, I don't know. I'm a little prudish, but now I'm not anymore because when my Dame products arrived, I was like, I am excited to try these.
Great.
Thumbs
Sold.
up.
I Googled it while you were doing it. Let's all get in on this.
Right? Go to dameproducts.com/Alison today for 10% off. Again, that's Dame Products, DAME products.com/Alison for 10% off. Okay. So we're at the mailbox place and we notice there's like a ton of old headshots on the wall. We're talking John Stamos, Marsha Cross from Melrose Place.
Nice pull.
Johnny Depp. Who else? Who is Eva not Eva Longoria. The one who's with Ryan Gosling. Eva Mendes.
Okay.
Daniel, do you remember who else there was?
Oh, there were some big stars. There was Robert Downey Jr.
Yep. I mean, but like all from a long time ago. So not that
long ago. It was like Iron Man.
Okay. Usually I find that wearing a mask cuts down on my desire to have any sort of conversation with anyone. But I was just a real chatty Cathy on this day. So I was like, how do these get here? Because naturally I want to slip one of mine on the wall.
The assumption when you see that is they've been in there.
They all have mailboxes there.
Of course.
They come in frequently enough where the owner would say, hey, can you bring in a headshot?
Yeah, stars. Right? They have mail too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But that's weird. I mean, I guess that is the assumption, but like, why does that make sense that if you owned a business, you would say, hey, could you bring in a headshot?
Sure.
It makes more sense than the person just having one on them.
I guess you're right. So we found out that an agent has a box there, and he provided the headshots. But
Or she.
or they.
Right.
Excuse
Or
me.
they.
But
And maybe multiple agencies. Let's just say.
Yeah.
So it's
but the guy who played Soup Nazi is on the wall, and apparently they still receive homemade soup for him frequently. People
Now
send in homemade soup.
Oh, wow.
Unless,
can you-
what's the leak factor on that?
Yeah, I don't understand how does he know that they're receiving homemade soup? Does it say on the outside fragile soup?
Yeah, warning, hot
Probably,
soup. Hot soup inside.
soup,
Allison,
yes.
would you like to tell everybody what you said in the car?
I don't know that this is going to translate to. I don't know if this is going to be entertaining, although that's never stopped me in the past. I said it's weird that people think he would still want soup.
And I pointed out that he never wanted soup. That was a character.
That we hit a pocket of. I wish more people would send me soup. Yeah.
He's not actually the soup Nazi.
Yeah. It was funny. In my mind, it's like there was a time period where he did welcome
He
the
was
soup.
really into soup.
Yeah. And now it doesn't make sense. But really, if he ever wanted the soup, that wouldn't go away. He would
I
still
will
want
say,
it.
I have seen that guy at the
mailbox?
like comic book conventions. Like he'll be like in the autograph section,
Right.
and the thing he offers is you can get a signed soup ladle from him.
That's fun.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, man knows his
Charge a penny
business.
for that.
Yeah. Were these
so there's-
things signed, by the way?
Yes.
Like, was it like "Thank you for the mail"? Or
I couldn't actually read any of them.
So thanks for the soup.
Yeah.
All of them.
Did say dear name of place. Some of them did.
yeah, okay,
Not too bad.
that seems reputable.
It also seems to be circa the time, though, that you could just go to the back of a Tiger Beat and do fan mail. So is it
Yes.
possible that the place themselves, I like this agent story, I'm buying this agent story, but has each one of those been earned via a fandom? Probably
Wait,
not. I bet it's
so I used to read Tiger Beat. Are you saying that you could send away to get signed headshots in Tiger
yeah,
Beat?
at the back of the Tiger Beat, they just had like all of the addresses where you could listen. If you're in Colorado, that's your weekend right there. You're right in Dolly Parton. You're going out to who else was big?
JTT, let's say.
Yeah. I think so.
Wait,
But
did you say
then-
JTT?
Right, Jonathan Taylor.
right?
Thomas?
Jonathan
Oh,
Taylor
yes.
Thomas. Yeah.
Going back. yeah.
Keeping with the T theme, a lot of Mr. T's, a lot of options for that one. It's great. It's fun. It's a touch of Hollywood in old Renee Colvert's bedroom.
I loved teen magazines. I was so. Did you read a lot of them, Renee?
Oh, obsessed. Yeah.
I would go to Ralph's, and I think I would drive Did I drive myself? Was I still reading them when I was 6? It was like a guilty pleasure and a deep, dark secret. I was very afraid of anyone recognizing me over by the magazines. So I was like always ready to grab a Saveur or something that would look reputable. And that's a magazine, right?
Yeah, I think so. Wait, say it again.
Saveur, like Saveur. I think it's like a cooking magazine.
Yeah, I think so.
It sounds like it. Now
One
I'm
who
like, or is it
savors.
men's fashion? I don't know. But anyway, I would go.
Yeah, it's a magazine. It's a magazine.
What does it look
I'm
like?
Googling it.
What
let's see.
kind?
Filthy.
That's what I'm trying to find.
Yeah, exactly. Only in the adult section.
Yeah, it does
not
look like
approving
it appears to be some sort of cooking thing.
Okay. Well, I would go and I would just sidle up to those magazines and then grab like Tiger Beat, Bop, The Big Bopper, all of them. And I mean, it was like probably like a guy grabbing a bunch of porn magazines who knows what he's going to do when he gets home. I was like, I can't wait to go home and just pour through these. It was very exciting.
Yeah, I wouldn't even leave the store. Just plop myself down in the middle of Barnes & Noble and be like, well, here we go. This is my evening.
Who were you into?
Who was it? Jonathan Taylor Thomas was big, and it helped that he was part of Lion King. that was like, and he can sing. Oh, this guy's a dream.
And he's a lion.
Exactly. I loved Fred Savage.
Oh,
my
wow.
goodness. Oh, my goodness. Hey. Yeah, and it wasn't, I think we've talked about this. Like, I just was a little bit developmentally slow to like have crushes, but I had an appreciation for their talent. So I felt that they were, good kids who worked hard. And I wanted to be friends with them. Who were yours?
Oh, gosh. I was into a guy named Andre Gower. He was in, I'm a little older than you. He was in Monster Squad, and I believe he also was on Married with Children.
Okay.
And he is like accessible at this point. I think I follow him on Instagram, but obviously that's, I don't still have feelings for him. I liked Steven Dorff. Who else did I like?
Yeah, it's hard to remember.
I felt competitive with Alyssa Milano because she was friends with like the Coreys and with everyone. I was like, look at the life she's leading.
Yeah. It's crazy. My favorite show was Life Goes On. I think was that the name of it? With
Oh,
Eddie
wow.
Cohen
Yeah.
And Corky,
Kelly Martin.
Becca.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Patty LuPone.
Right. Remember when she did sitcoms? We love it. We love to see it. But yeah, that's the poster I remember most in my bedroom is Life Goes On, man. Great theme
Renee.
song. Yes.
I was a featured extra on Life Goes On.
What? Alison, you're going to have to sign one of those headshots for me.
Yeah.
I'm going to need.
Whereas the other extras made however much money they made. I made like $20 more and I was slightly featured. And this is so not me. So what's her name? Becca?
Uh-huh.
At Becca's high school. And was she on swim team or something? I just know that I was featured. I was on the swim team, and what made me featured was I had to dive into the pool, and I was fine with this. Like me in a bathing suit on TV for a split second. But I did that, and so I got to be around her and around Corky and around her friend who had the really curly hair, Andrea.
Right. See, or are we confusing that with 90210? It might have been.
No, not Andrea.
Oh, excuse me. Excuse me.
Yeah. Anyway, though.
What was the experience? Were they nice?
They were nice. Yeah, it was all nice. They were nice. But then I think there was another episode. It was a classroom scene. And I just know that like one person was like, okay, when we say this, then you guys, walk this way in front of this thing.
Right.
And it was just students filing into the classroom. And then another person was like, okay, you need to walk behind this. I was being given two different instructions.
Yeah.
And I was like 13.
Right.
This just shows that my sleep problems go way back. Daniel, don't use that as ammunition for why your snoring is not why I can't sleep.
She tries to blame me.
But
I'm sure somehow I was to blame for that too.
I fell asleep sitting in a chair next to my mom we had some break or something. So I was I don't know why I was so tired, but I think I had to get up early or something. I couldn't sleep, whatever. And so anyway, they kept being like, okay, background rolling, whatever.
Right.
Like, cut, you need to go cut. And it was all about me.
Uh-oh.
And I just remember because I had like just woken up being like, but he told me this, which is a way to get kicked off a set when you're really like the lowest person on the totem pole. But it was okay. It was just very frustrating.
Yeah.
But that wasn't.
Did it take you out of your character when that was going on?
That is the main question.
It did.
You were trying to concentrate. Would you go home and still be in character? Mm-hmm. Like, would you walk the wrong way at home and stuff?
I was blameless. They needed to get on the same page.
Sounds about right. Also, you were 13, right? They got to
I was
be
a
crystal
kid.
clear with those instructions.
But it really was. I know it sounds like I'm saying it was them, but really it was me. But it really was like two people at the end of the room with different ideas of how the scene was going to go. And it just happened to fall on me.
I love it. Did you still like the show afterwards, or did it? You knew that they were directionless, and so you didn't respect it anymore.
That is such a good question, Renee. That is such a good question, because there have been run-ins with other people where I'm like, well, now I can't like your show anymore. No, I still liked the show. Good. I did.
Okay.
Was Chad Lowe on that show? He was, right?
He was a late addition.
Was that Our House?
Didn't he come in later?
Hold on.
I think he was on it.
Yeah, I think so too.
And he was someone I liked as well.
Right.
Because he was Rob's younger brother, right?
Yeah.
I didn't even have to type all of it, and it came up as a thing that is.
It's already in there.
On, Life Goes On. Yeah.
Wait, Tony, while you're on Google, there's another show called Our House, and there was a hot guy on that.
Right.
Yeah, with Shannon Doherty. Are you thinking of Wilford Brimley?
Yeah, that's the one. But there was I think his name was Chad too, and that's what I just conflated it with.
Oh, Chad Allen.
That's the one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, when he
Yeah,
cute.
Chad Allen.
Everyone loved Chad Allen. What happened to Chad Allen?
I did my own sound drop. I don't
Tony,
know.
We're going to need you to find out what happened to Chad Allen.
Chad Allen.
He could
He's still
probably
alive.
be a guest.
I'll give you that. He was later on My Two Dads.
Okay.
He was also on Dr. Quinn, Medicine Woman. And he announced his retirement from acting in April 2015.
Okay. I'm very impressed with your research skills. And how's Wilford Brimley? How's he holding up? Doing okay?
I don't
he
think
just
he's
die
alive.
recently?
Decaying.
Yeah.
Which I was shocked that, he died in August 1st of last year.
Isn't that wild?
Yeah, he
almost
was old for a long time.
He was old when I was born.
I know. And all right, okay, let's play a game here.
Yeah.
How old do you guys think he was when he died?
Ooh. Okay,
I'm
I got
going to
mine.
guess. Okay, we're going to need some sound effects.
Okay.
I'm going to guess 95.
Allison goes 95.
I'd say I was going to say 93.
Daniel goes 93.
Renee goes 98.
And he goes 98.
I believe he was 85.
Whoa.
Wait. He nailed it. 85.
Whoa.
Wow.
Eric, how did you do that? Did you also just Google it?
He's a real Brimley head.
But so when in the movie Cocoon in 1985, he was an old man, and he was what, maybe 50?
Right.
It's
Yeah.
insane.
I guess that is some good calculation.
He was always
there.
old.
God.
Because I
98
remember
is too
there
much.
being a thing going around like a year or two ago when I think it was Paul Rudd had turned 50 or a certain age that Paul,
He
and
passed
was
the
like, Paul
Brimley.
Rudd is now the same age that Wilford Brimley was in Cocoon.
That is nuts. That's insane.
Let's say you wanted to send someone a picture of Wilford Brimley and you wanted it to be displayed on a beautiful digital frame, and you wanted to give, like, your mom, let's say you wanted to send her a picture of Wilford Brimley and you want her to display it on a beautiful frame. I know just the frame for her. It is called Skylight Frame. Now, I suspect the majority of people who receive a Skylight Frame, who give a Skylight Frame, aren't using it exclusively. They're not Wilford Brimley heads. They're not using it exclusively for
It's
that.
not only for Brimley. Brimley.
Right. It's not.
Brimley.
But like Daniel and I, we didn't even think to load ours with Wilford Brimley. Daniel, before they were even a sponsor, Daniel approached me because I'm intimidating, and he got the courage to approach me, and he said, "Honey, I know what we should give the grandmas for whatever holiday it was. Was it Christmas that year? Mother's Day?
I think it was Mother's Day.
Yeah, I know what we should give the moms." And I said, "Oh, this is going to be good." And he said, "Skylight Frames." And I looked him up and I was like, "Oh yeah, that'd be great." They love them. Every time I see my parents, they have and by the way, the whole thing is like you can email pictures and they show up instantly. However, we don't do that anymore. My mom just does it. And also when we go there, Elliot like scrolls through it and stuff. So if my mom and Elliot, who's 4, can operate this, it is not hard to use. It like sets up very quickly and it looks so good. It's just really such a solid gift. 100% satisfaction guaranteed. Now, as a special holiday offer, you can get $10 off your purchase of a skylight frame when you go to skylightframe.com and enter code Alison. That's right. To get $10 off your purchase of a skylight frame, just go to skylightframe.com and enter code Alison. That's Skylight Frame, SKYLIGHTFRAME.com, and enter code Alison. I also want to talk about feels. CBD isn't what you feel, it's what you don't feel. Stress, anxiety, pain, etc. And Feels is a better way to feel better. Feels, that's Feals, is a premium CBD that will help to keep your head clear and feel your best. It's hassle-free, delivered directly to your door. CBD naturally helps reduce stress, anxiety, pain, and sleeplessness. I needed this when back in the story that I just told. There's no hangover or addiction. Place a few drops of Feels under your tongue and feel the difference within minutes. The thing to remember about CBD is that finding your right dose is important, and everyone's dose is different. In fact, Feels offers a free CBD hotline. I love this, to help guide your personal experience so that you can find your perfect dose. The Feels customer service team is dedicated to making sure you get the best use of your CBD. Joining the Feels monthly membership makes your self-care easy. You'll save money on every order, and you can pause or cancel anytime. And truly, you do not feel like you don't feel altered. You just feel calmer. Start feeling better with Feels. Become a member today by going to feels.com/bestfriend, and you get 50% off your first order with free shipping. That's Feels, FEALS.com/bestfriend to become a member and get 50% automatically taken off your first order with free shipping. Feels.com/bestfriend. Well,
That's a good deal.
I was going to tell a story that involved Daniel, but then all of a sudden I looked and he was MIA. Daniel, where forever did you go?
Wendy needed to go potty, and now I've got to let her into the living room. Hang on.
Okay. I'll start
How's
the story.
Wendy doing? Oh, sorry. Yes, start the
No,
story.
she's
and then
good.
Give me an update on Wendy.
She's good. In fact, she made an appearance because she's a Cavalier King Charles Spaniel, and Ryan Sickler is looking for one. They're very...
Aw.
Everyone got dogs in the pandemic.
Yeah, you had to. It's a requirement. Eric, you're behind.
Do you not have a dog, or do you not have a pet, Eric?
I don't know.
What are you doing?
I mean, I'm
Don't-
just
don't-
yeah.
Do you like opening doors?
It's a small house. This is not the place for a dog. You know, down the line, yes.
Fair.
It's basically as soon as this lifts and I can safely move, I will. And then maybe I'll have a yard and maybe I can have a dog.
Is your whole house the vocal booth that you're in right now?
Yeah, it's about 4x4 is my house, and it's it's a fixer upper. But yeah, it's convenient. It's centrally located.
Good.
No, it's small. It's a small house.
Yeah. No, I get it. I didn't mean to pet shame you. I was just, but anyway, so Ryan has been wanting to get this kind of dog, so he asked if he
Right.
could see her. So Wendy makes an appearance on the Ryan Sickler episode, so check that out.
Can't wait. I will.
But anyway, you asked how Wendy is. She's good.
Yes. Okay, good. Happy to hear it.
She was a real chunky monkey like 2 years ago. And Laura London, dog trainer who has been a guest on the show a couple times, just in such just a strong way shamed me, but it really got through to me.
Okay.
Because before that, I felt like, but dogs
She's
don't
a dog.
live
Let
that
her be
long.
happy. Yeah.
Yeah, they don't live that long. So I don't want, 1/10 of her life or whatever to be filled with discomfort.
Right.
So we were really overfeeding her. I mean, she had dinner with Dan. First of all, she ate her kibble, but to get her to eat her kibble, we had to put chicken and cheese and stuff on it.
Sure.
And then she still would barely eat it. And she mostly just ate Daniel's dinner with him. Daniel, isn't that insane how we used to live?
Oh yeah, it was crazy.
But they're so cute when they beg. It's hard to break that habit. I get it.
So
Yeah.
at Laura's prompting, we started giving her a half cup of kibble in the morning, a third of a cup in the evening. And anyway, she's at her goal weight now.
Look at this one. Do we have
mean,
some before and after shots?
I really-
Has she gotten sponsors? She influencing? She.
I know.
You got to utilize that market.
She really should. Yeah, I know. No, I don't really have before and after. I mean, yeah, I haven't done a side by side, but
probably okay.
you can really feel the difference when you pick her up, and
Yeah.
you don't think oh my God anymore. So anyway, Wendy's good. But Daniel and I, now at full immunity, went out and had a meal at an outdoor meal at a restaurant for the first time. And I'm recording Doughboys tomorrow. And so it was in preparation for Doughboys. So I don't know. Should I say what?
You can now if it's coming out before this airs.
It's coming out.
Come out on Thursday.
Yeah, so it's the same day.
I think that's still okay.
I think you can say it.
I think it's okay. We went to Olive Garden. Ooh. And it is very amusing to me that our first meal out in over a year was Olive Garden.
That is funny. Did it still feel like family?
I don't even know that it ever felt like family. Okay. But I would say even yeah, they really should.
Is that their slogan?
Yeah, when you hear your family, Daniel. When you hear your family.
Oh.
Yeah, that's why they had signs on the couches indoors that they didn't want you to sit on that say, oh my God, sorry. I just got a notice from my computer that says your disc is almost full, and it rattled me. Social distancing is temporary, family is forever, which is kind of foreboding. It's kind of ominous.
It was a lot like family in that the food tasted like lean cuisine. And that's like our family.
Yeah, that is a place I have never... Because there are some people that legitimately love Olive Garden, and I've never understood it.
There was someone celebrating...
If you like it, sure, but I don't get it.
There was someone at a table near us celebrating a birthday.
Yeah.
And that was...
I don't.
Their birthday. Yeah.
But they were singing to him and getting that picture.
Were they still bottomless?
Yes. I feel like they've changed though, because I remember thinking the breadsticks were pretty good, and I found them to be there were some texture issues. It was they tasted a little bit stale to me.
The breadsticks were fine. They were fine.
But they weren't as good as I remember them, and I don't know if that's a memory thing or a breadstick thing.
I had only been to an Olive Garden one time in my life, and this was back in like high school, which was a long time ago. And so I didn't have any idea what to expect, and it was not a great experience, I have to say. The food, it was almost like airline food. Like it was like decent airline food.
Airplane food?
I don't mean and look, if you're out there and you love Olive Garden, like, hey, that's fine. Love it. But what I got yeah.
And let's hear it. What'd you get? What'd you do to yourself?
I got the chicken Madeira.
Marsala.
And it was just like the chicken had that like rubbery, like micro, like when you get a frozen meal with chicken. It's like almost like processed chicken. Mm-hmm. It's not like real chicken.
Yeah.
There's something rubbery about it. That's how the chicken was.
To defend the restaurant industry, but I bet they're all having a really hard time with how much do we order, how much do we freeze, how much do we eat based off who's coming in. But I don't know that had you just gone before the pandemic, oh man.
I think with these chain restaurants, though, like the food comes frozen.
So I read, so nothing at Olive Garden is prepared fresh except their soup. And I had the soup, and it was that. I have no complaints. One of the soups. They have 4 flavors.
I know a guy you could send some to.
Yes. But listen to Doughboys for more of the details. Okay. Daniel, I have a question. What? So earlier, Eric said... I have a question before that question. Daniel, I'm going to ask you a question in a minute. First, I have to ask Eric a question. You said that you were like, I'm going to go out because I know we're going to be locking down for 12 to 18 months. Did you really realize that's what we were looking at? Because I was one of those people who, in April or March, when I found out that there was a school that was shutting down till June, I was like, wow, I had no idea it was going to be this long.
Oh, yeah. No, I did. Well, so I went... excuse me, the timeline was such. At the beginning of March of 2020, I went to New York for the Audie Awards. And I remember the night before I was going to leave, I was like, should I go? Do I need to wear a mask? What if they quarantine when I'm there? How do I get back? And, had some exit strategies. But, what tipped it for me was that I saw Stephen King was going and he was going to be the honored guest. And I was like, well, he wrote The Stand. He knows what's going on. Ooh. So if he can go...
You have some insight.
Yeah, exactly. I feel safe going if he's going to go. But yeah, it wasn't until I got back and then I was reading about things. And I think there was actually like a document that said like U.S. military prepares for 12 to 18 months, something from the Pentagon that came out. And I was like, okay, that's probably true. So, yeah, I knew that it was going to take a while. But, I still had no idea that life could change so entirely, so quickly. And it was hubris. It was pure hubris to think I can go out and be like, I'll be fine. But we just didn't know. We didn't know.
Right. All right. Is The Stand about a pandemic?
Yes, I should have mentioned. The Stand is very specifically about a pandemic, much like the one that we're living through, which is why I felt safe.
He's a
Daniel, you enjoy horror. Have you read The Stand?
I don't know what you're talking about. I do not enjoy horror. Why did you think that?
What?
I don't enjoy horror.
You enjoy Stephen King.
I do. I've enjoyed.
You
some
listened.
Stephen King.
You listened to Dr. Sleep.
Yeah.
What did Olive Garden do to you, Daniel? Oh my God.
Who is this person that I'm supposedly married to?
After the food, you're just filled with ennui.
That was an exception because I was curious about the sequel to The Shining.
I gotcha.
Oh, so you just love The Shining.
Listen to that one.
I would bet you also like On Writing. He's got a good writing book.
Oh yeah, On Writing. That's right. That's actually one of the better books about writing. Yeah, I don't know. I have mixed feelings about Stephen King. But some good movies have been made out of his stuff. And, I like his approach to writing, although I find some of his storytelling to be a bit like meandering, because it's a bit stream of consciousness. He doesn't really plan his stories out. So sometimes it feels like, where are we going with this?
Speaking of writers that I associate with Stephen King, where my parents live, like way in the distance, you can see a house that Dean Koontz, we thought he owned it, but we found out recently that he no longer owns it.
Dink.
That's what I was going to say. Daniel, what do you call, because what Daniel calls him amuses me so much and it's so stupid. No offense.
Dink Newts. Yeah.
Daniel refers to him as
sold
Dink.
It. Dink Newts sold his house, and it was it was a pretty big house. Sold for a lot of money.
Okay.
Yeah. Dink's house.
Dink's
Hope
house.
the
Yeah.
next person there has a kooky name that you can have fun.
I've never.
I
Yeah.
know.
Oh yeah. I never read any of his books. I don't have any thoughts about Dink.
Yeah.
Does anyone here
Neither.
like the guy?
I can't
Seems
say I've read any.
like an odd dude to
I
me.
feel like he wrote the book Watchers, which was made into a movie with Corey Haim, and that's my only knowledge.
So now you're talking about something that I should know, but I don't. Dean Koontz's house, I bet they had a beautiful, majestic lawn. And here's the thing. I know the last thing anyone needs is another complicated or toxic lawn product. Sunday is more than a lawn care product. It's a custom lawn care plan with a variety of ways to help you grow a beautiful lawn, control weeds, and remove pests. They take out all the guesswork and unwanted chemicals so you can grow a beautiful lawn that's better for people, pets, and the planet. So I love you type in your address. They pull up like a rough picture of where you live and what they think your soil is like. And then when you get your first shipment, there's like a soil there. Anyway, I'm just going to cut to the chase. I don't own a shovel. I grabbed a tablespoon, put in a sample of soil, sent it to them. They sent me exactly what our lawn needs. I'm not a particularly handy person. However, you just take the pouch, you hook it onto your hose. I was able to do it. Spray it on the yard. Our lawn has never looked better, and I was able to do it myself, and I can't do anything myself. Let Sunday take the guesswork out of growing a greener. Daniel, would you say it's true that I can't do anything myself?
Yes.
Let Sunday take the guesswork out of growing a greener, more beautiful lawn this spring. Visit getsunday.com/Alison to get $20 off your custom lawn plan at checkout. That's $20 off your custom lawn plan at getsunday.com/Alison. Again, that is getsunday.com/Alison. Okay, Daniel.
Yes.
So Eric said that at the beginning of the pandemic, he was like, now that this book I've been thinking I should write, I should just do it now. Mm-hmm. Does that make you feel rage?
Well, it doesn't make me feel rage at Eric.
No, I know.
I'm
not
happy
Eric.
for Eric. But it makes me feel rage at God for making my life so full of other things I have to do other than anything I want to do. No, I'm exaggerating a little, but yeah, it's been a challenge this year to have even a minute a day to do anything other than work and childcare.
Have you even had time to figure out what your quarantine projects would be? If you could.
My quarantine projects are like things that I can slip into the cracks of my day.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, it's not entirely like one of the things I've realized I can do. So I can't write because writing just takes too much concentration. I can't plan 5 minutes a day to write or 5 minutes every 2 hours. You know what I mean? It's just there's just not enough. But I can draw or I can do those kinds of that kind of art. And so for me, I've just decided, well, one thing I can do is try to get better as an illustrator because I really had never gotten any training and I was sort of, I was okay, but not really what I would consider to be that good. And so I think I've gotten better at that, and that's been good. So it's not entirely. Like, I complain a lot.
Sure. That's what you're supposed to do. I don't trust anybody who's like, it was great.
Most of my complaining is the objective is to make my wife feel guilty so that I can get
well, you are nailing it. Oh my God.
It's really...
Cross that off your to-do list.
Yeah.
We did
so, but if I'm being real with all of you folks, I do get enough time to do that. That's been good. And hopefully that'll pay dividends after the quarantine. So.
Do you have any in reachable
and our
distance
kids have gone to college.
That you can show us? Do you have any that you can show us?
I've posted some stuff on Instagram recently, so if you want to check that out. And then I'm also, and this has been one of those things where I've probably been working since the summer, is I'm making a custom action figure of this is the stupidest thing. I don't know if I have
my eyebrows went straight to the ceiling. I am invested. This sounds great. Is it of you, Allison?
Oh, I wish.
No,
he actually made.
I don't have it.
You don't have it?
Hold on. Well, hold on.
Go get it.
He made a Christmas ornament with my face on it. A couple years ago, and that went out to around the holidays. That went out to patrons at the fan club level, way back when. But so he has sculpted me before. But if this is what I think it is, this is ridiculous. I can see him trying to find it.
Allison, did you have
I recently reorganized my
desk project? Sorry, I was trying to kill time.
Well, what it will be is I took an old an action figure for who was the character in the Last Jedi, the Korean gal. What's her name? Rose Tico.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Because she was the right height, and I basically remolded it so that it's George Lucas. But what I'm doing is I'm doing a George Lucas when he went to the food court. You know that picture of him at the food court, sadly eating Panda Express. So I had to figure out how to mold it and cast it with articulated lip. That was really hard, by the way, figuring out how to cast the articulation with the joints and everything. And so now I've got it so that I can cast it, and then I'm going to paint it and create a blister pack with that sad picture in the back. I don't know why I'm doing any of this. It's the most insane thing.
That's fantastic.
But
this can so easily translate into a limited run. You could do pretty well with a product like this, I think.
It amused me enough to engage in it. So yeah, it's fun. I like the idea of George Lucas's life now. For the rest of his life, he has to have action figures made of the saddest, most mundane moments of his life. So pictures of him following his wife while he's shopping, standing in Nordstrom's while she's trying on dresses, but an action figure for kids.
You're gonna be a millionaire. That's so good.
You made the Panda Express food already, right? Have you done that part? Or no, you made the Diet Coke.
Give me a second. It's around here.
Yeah, okay. You gotta find it. That's such a good idea. An icon at his worst. It's such a thing I'd buy.
Not even worse, just most mundane.
Sure, the most mundane. Yeah, exactly. Trying to
So
think.
Renee, you asked me
what would
my
be your passion project if you could.
I don't know that I have like one. Wait, did you find it, Daniel?
I found a bag of scraps here, so I can show you the pieces.
Okay.
Like, now keep in mind, these are like trials, because it was really hard to figure out, again, how to do the articulation. But here's the, here's
Oh my
without
god, this
arms.
is incredible.
Wow.
I'm gonna take.
So there he is. He's got a little something in his pocket right here. And here, let's see. I've got. Man, I wasn't prepared to show and tell. Oh yeah, here's the Panda Express. Little orange chicken
That's amazing.
with some chow mein. I got it
Delish.
here. There's his hand will be holding a Diet Coke can.
Look at that, Daniel.
Look at
That's
that.
nuts. It's just so like. I mean, listeners, obviously, you're all on Patreon. You're gonna get to watch it, but it's so tiny. It's like not even the nail of your pinky finger. It's so small.
And if you're not a subscriber, I can think of no more compelling reason.
Yeah,
Thank you.
you got to get in and see
Thank
that orange
you.
chicken.
Yeah, so that's it's not exactly
Daniel, I'm
King Lear.
so impressed.
Yeah, and you say you've not had time to do anything. That's like more than I've done, and I do have time.
I mean, but keep in mind, this is the kind of thing I can, like 5 minutes, I can sand something for 5 minutes and then go. You know what I mean? It's
Still.
not like I can sit down.
It's impressive.
Well, thanks. Yeah. At the beginning of pandemic, some assholes were circulating this thing about how Shakespeare wrote King Lear in a fucking pandemic, and I want to find that person who started that. And I want to drown them in a fucking pickle barrel.
Yeah, but Shakespeare didn't have kids.
It's like, fuck off, because that's been looming over my head this whole time. Like, oh, Jesus.
All right, my Lear.
I could have written the title King Lear. But no, I don't want to complain, because the good side of it is, honestly, now, so much time with the boys that I wouldn't have had.
Yeah.
And I feel already like our relationship is so much better than I think it would have been.
Right,
You know,
that's great.
like,
Your relationship with the boys?
yeah. Yeah, because
'Cause
I'm
it's so much
around.
quality
There's just
time,
a feeling of, there's just a closeness that, so I don't,
It seems to be pretty consistent. You either made something during the pandemic or you got a hug within the last year. And those were your choices.
Yes.
I think.
that's the other thing. That's the other thing, Renee. I complain to my wife, again, because there's an objective there. There's something to be gained. But when I complain publicly, I feel bad, because I understand that everybody's pandemic experience is difficult
Sure.
in a different way. Mine's particularly maybe more difficult than others.
Certainly.
But,
Yeah. Daniel, while you were looking around, I was asking Allison what her passion project would be.
Oh, my passion project.
Oh, I know what it is.
Oh.
What is it?
Napping.
But it's right in my wheelhouse. I mean, I do love a nap. No, it's like buying 13 heat pads and then sending back 12.
Honestly,
and then buying another one because, I realized I had bought the wrong type of thing.
Right.
Nobody does more research and more just thinking about the most mundane purchase than Alison. I was like, this has to be used. Like, we need some sort of a Consumer Reports type of blog where it's not going to be everything, guys. It's going to be certain things. It's going to be like a dishwasher and a heat pad, but if you're looking for that, you will get the best version of that.
Okay.
It'll be like Alison's list.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, I mean, part of where you could find that, thank you for that segue, Amazon.com/shop/Alison Rosen, Amazon.com/shop/Alison Rosen. That's my I've been curating Amazon lists. So you can shop my podcast equipment. I haven't updated it with heat pads yet. I should. There's two that I'm honing in on. I haven't decided which one I like better.
Yeah, don't rush this.
Yeah, exactly. I don't want it to. It's not like King Lear, like a rush job. This is something that I'm gonna labor over. But my makeup, Daniel's section of it, stuff for the kids, all sorts of good stuff there. But I think it's not a passion project, Renee. It's just a project. I would have liked to get the house way more in order than we have.
Yeah.
That has been my plan for a while, just to organize, and it just hasn't. It keeps not happening.
Yeah, because that's not fun.
That's right.
Sucks. Yeah.
Uh-oh. Somehow I opened up Siri.
Oh.
That's not what I wanted.
Well, ask her a question while you got her.
I closed her. It's
What's
because I
the
keep
best
getting this
keypad?
notice saying my disk is almost full, and it is concerning me that the video is not going to be fully recorded. Well, but speaking of Patreon, I want to say hello and welcome to my new patrons. And I think you guys, Tony put together a little something that you're about to hear. I'm very excited.
Aw.
Alison wants to say thank you to a couple of special people out there who signed up to be new patrons. Patreon.com/AlisonRosen.
Ooh, that's
I
good.
love it.
That's so good.
I love it so much. Okay. Hello and welcome, Laura H. and Kelly V. And then Amanda, Danielle F., Alexis C. Did I not write down? I think it's Amanda A. They have increased their subscription amounts. And then Phyllis H., Michelle H., Phyllis H., Michelle S., Jeremy D., and Yvonne P. have converted from monthly to annual subscriptions. Yeah. What is an annual subscription, you might ask? Yes, I offer annual subscriptions. Instead of month to month, you can sign up for a year, and there's a savings with that. You get 2 months free. So it's 12 months for the price of 10. Again,
That's a good deal.
All sorts of fun stuff on my Patreon. Join us. I am loving I was thinking, I was reminded how much I like Patreon when I started doing the texting, you can text me, I text you with some of them. And I was thinking, it's like, this is why I was surprised at how much I liked Patreon at the beginning. There's just something very fun about it. And this, I was like reminded of the fun. So I love it. I hope that you guys love it too, but I think you do. So come join us. It's super fun. What else was I going to say? I feel like there was something else I was going to say.
Something else. Something good.
What was
it? Orange chicken. Organization. Should we go back to those bitches at Facebook? Should we end with a rant? Bookend it? No.
What was it? Let's do some Just Me or Everyone.
Yeah.
That's what it is. No, that's not what it was.
No.
Wonder on something.
Tony.
Shut it down.
Could you play? So I don't know if there's anyone who has only heard the Thursday shows and has not listened to the Monday shows with Daniel. But if there is, Daniel occasionally does a segment called Daniel's Cool Beans, where he reviews beans. It's very funny. And Tony wrote a jingle for that, and it is so good that I just want you guys to hear it. So let's hear it.
Black beans, kidney beans, pinto beans, and lima beans, red beans, mung beans, navy beans, and fava beans. Really be nice or really be mean. It's time for Daniel's Cool Beans.
Tony,
It
that's
is
so good.
So catchy.
It's
so
like too
good.
good because if it wasn't that good, I wouldn't have to keep doing the segment. But Alison wants to hear the song, so now I have to keep doing it. So thank you, Tony.
Yeah.
But,
I'm sorry.
No, I'm not angry with you anymore.
Anymore.
That's really good. Yeah. That's sing around the house good.
So good. Now, what about Trap Dog? You might be saying Trap Dog, who has done all my other jingles. He retired from the jingle game. Now, I don't know if this is a pandemic burnout thing.
He's a regular Chad Allen.
Yeah.
That's right.
Out of the biz.
Funny with the callbacks this show.
He made an album last year, and he said that he thought this is like he was going to go out on this album. But I feel like a true musician, he might be saying that. It's like Chrissy Teigen with Twitter. He's saying that, but he's going to come back.
Yeah,
but we'll
like,
see.
And Kiss has done like 72 farewell tours.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think that Black Sabbath had also done that a lot.
Yeah.
Although maybe they really did farewell. Anyway. Okay.
You never know.
They
could
seem
come
tired.
back. And they could get back into jingles as well. Black Sabbath. So could happen
That's
too.
right. Okay. Just me or everyone for real this time.
Sometimes I ponder on something I have thought or done. Is it just me or everyone?
Okay. This one comes from Tony Thaxton. There are about 700 movies I'd like to watch, but I need to not watch them alone. And I'm not a talk through movies person, but for some reason I need another person around to focus. Anyone have this issue?
I do. Also,
Okay, so it's not just you. Oh, wait. Or maybe.
also, we did this before, I
We
believe.
did?
Yeah.
Oh.
I
Well,
believe
but good
so.
to circle it back just in case. Tony, I agree with you. I feel the same. I also
I don't think we did this one.
I think so.
You sure?
I think so.
Okay, well, so be it. This one bears repeating.
yeah, I agree. You need an accountability buddy, just like working out to get through stuff. You don't want
it
him
just
to
like
talk through
helps
it.
me focus for some reason. I don't know why.
I keep waiting for somebody to force me to watch Mandalorian. I'm sure it's coming. Here it's great, but I'm not going to do it on my own.
Mandalorian is very much not the kind of thing I would, except I like cute things. But
Yeah.
in general, it's not a thing I would watch. And I really enjoyed the first season, and then I just couldn't make myself watch the second season. Maybe I should have.
Man.
You know, in the Renee, you're not going to have friends at the end of this pandemic. I liked WandaVision until it got Marvel-y. Didn't like the last two
Me
episodes.
too.
Yeah, I'm
I,
with you.
yeah, I was actually. I started losing interest as it went on,
Superhero
yeah.
stuff was
Yeah.
I didn't
Yeah,
need
it's
it
funny.
to-
Oh, well, never mind. I found my people.
No,
Welcome.
that's exactly my criticism of it. It was so interesting, or sort of interesting, and then it's just people fighting.
Yeah.
Why does everything have to end up with people fighting?
I don't know.
Yeah. I guess as a meta commentary on the history of television, maybe it's incredibly prescient.
I see.
Like we've come to this.
But then it felt like they abandoned that at a certain point. Like
They did
Like,
in the
wouldn't it have
story.
been interesting if, although I heard that they in early drafts they had tried to keep the conceit going, like where each episode is a different style of TV show, but it wasn't working. So I think that's why they shifted to this like thing where it's no longer you're inside a show. But hey, that ain't my problem. You guys are the ones that came up with the idea.
Wait, Eric, I think I misunderstood you. Did you mean it like the fighting was just like all the streaming services we have to buy now? It's
Yeah, it could be a metaphor
representation
for
of
that. It could be just the superheroes are everywhere now in 2020.
Okay, all right.
2021. Yeah.
Great. Well, I'm glad we're all clear that WandaVision was good up until the end.
Jen T says, when running or walking around my neighborhood, if I pass in the vicinity of a climbing squirrel, I worry that it might jump or fall on me, specifically my head or face. Just me or everyone. I've never worried about this. It feels like something I should worry about.
Does she look like a tree
Or a nut.
or a giant acorn?
Yeah, I can't say I've had that concern. No.
I can't do that. I can meet you with phantom fear of if I'm outside and I see a squirrel and I don't have the dog, then I'll still have the same like, okay, get ready. Here we go. 60 pounds of turbo coming at him. The dog's not here. It's fine.
Jaguars, sure. Squirrels for me, it's a no. I'm good. I'm okay.
Yeah.
I'm sure she's not the only one, though. Brian Pruitt. Wait, side note. Did you guys know how loud squirrels are? I never really, like, if someone had said a squirrel makes noise. In fact, I think that I was on a Jordan Jesse Go and Jesse was talking about a squirrel making noise. And I like couldn't imagine what that was.
What
However,
kind of noise?
I can't.
Yeah, I've heard them.
It's
like a
Recapitulate it.
clicking. Like
Is it
how
a
to
chitter?
explain it, though.
Yeah, it's kind of like that. Who just did that? Was that
me, Renee.
Yeah.
When,
But it's
this
also-
dog.
But there's sounds too. There's like almost like a squawking, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so.
Like a chirping.
Yeah.
Brian Pruitt says, my dog's superpower is pooping in the yard of whichever neighbor is outside at the time. Yes.
Yes. Everyone.
It is weird how it's just acceptable that dogs just poop everywhere. And whenever any grass is fair game. Mm-hmm. And whenever I see someone just lay down in the grass, I think, oh, you must not have a dog. Because I used to not regard, now I regard all grass to me, it probably is covered in poop in my mind. Yeah. Even if it's been picked up, there's a little bit left behind or pee.
Some remnants.
Yeah.
Certainly in those like mediums, those that between the sidewalk and the street.
Right.
I don't even step in that, even if there's no poop. I'll always avoid that.
Yeah.
Would you say that is the sidewalk street's upper lip? In that it's a taint?
It's a sidewalk taint, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I would call it.
Okay. Bruised by Dawn says, just mirror everyone. Everything tastes better on a Friday evening.
I don't have that. All days are kind of the same for me.
What's a Friday evening?
Yeah, I'm going to everyone that. I agree. Because I think you just have time to be like, oh, I'm eating now instead of just scarfing it down to go
Friday
to the
evening is the evening that Daniel is most inclined to do Postmates.
Yeah, a Friday evening is probably the night where I'll go like, yeah, let's do something that's different.
Yeah, it's actually like the weekends are in normal times when I actually don't I kind of like going out less during those nights, just because everywhere's so busy. And yeah, I prefer to go out during the week if I can. Yeah.
I'm with you. Yeah.
And then here's one that we may have done. It's from me, but I don't think we did. When I recall certain faux pas, I feel so icky. I imagine curling into a tight little ball and tucking my ankles behind my neck. Did we do this one?
It doesn't sound familiar.
Okay. It's specifically...
But it sounds familiar to me. Like, it's something that I feel sometimes.
Yeah.
It's specifically I need to go wrap myself up into a ball so much that my ankles are behind my neck, which is something that I would never actually be able to do. But that is it's like that gif of the, what is it? Is it a hedgehog that just goes, boop, falls into a ball?
Yeah. Or the end of Poltergeist where the house just goes, and it goes, bing.
Right.
That's what, yeah.
I haven't seen that, but you have.
I feel that way. Horror. I feel that way anytime I think of any social encounter I've ever had.
Same.
I'm always just like, the thought I keep having is like, I don't know how to be human. I don't know how to do this.
Completely. I feel like I've got about a 3-year shelf life for my personality. Like right now, this feels great. But when I listen back to it in 3 years, I'm going to be like, sweet God, Jesus. And it sort of like permeates through everything that I do. I'm just like, well, enjoy it now because you're going to be real embarrassed about it in about 3 years.
That's a good call. I think I'm the same way. Yeah.
I have like a real... what's the word? I don't want to go back and read old emails from, it's similar to what you're saying. From last year, fine. But there's a certain time zone at which I'm like, I think I would feel very icky reading that, even though I'm sure I would read it and it would be fine.
Well, that's the difference between us.
Well, no.
I did a lot of hey, booby bearby booby bop. It's real. It's mortifying. Do not go back into your Yahoo account. Whatever you do, I don't recommend it.
Wait, is that one person or that's what you called people?
I don't know.
Everyone.
And again, I'm going to be mortified about what I'm doing now, but I definitely went through a phase of just let me see how folksy I can make this. And it is unmanageable and unbearable. It's awful. It's awful.
What else? What other kind of folksyisms did you say?
I'm trying to remember. What did I... just no word was written the way it was supposed to be written. Everything had an apostrophe. I just was you'll read it like a talk, right? And it just this was so embarrassing. I'll have to go through and see. I think I have blocked a good amount of it out. But
oh my God, Renee.
I know.
Another fun thing to do if you want to just cringe and lock your teeth and hunch your shoulders in horror is to go back to the beginning of your Facebook feed when they would say like is and like you would answer like, you know, how are you feeling right now or what's on your mind or whatever. And just the things that you would put in your status updates. Maybe you're different, but I know for me, going back and looking at them, I'm like, oh God, this is so dumb. This is so dumb. What did I do? Why did I do this? Why did anybody do this?
Yeah. Yeah.
I suppose you could extend that to now, but here we are.
Sure.
Yeah.
No, now we're like hip and with it.
Obviously.
Yeah.
That's clearly.
Renee,
Yes.
we used to do a segment on my show where we would read from our old diaries. If you ever were to dig up something like this and wanted to read it on the show,
Happily. Yeah,
I
it'll
would
be
love that.
mortifying. But yeah, I will. Because
Yeah,
it's
that's the point.
specifically like because back then still trying to be an actor, right? So like the shit I would send to agents. It's just, oh boy. But yeah, I'll pull some up for you.
here's a real cringy memory I have.
Yeah.
Back when I was a writer, like writing for magazines, I would periodically make copies of my clips. This is back before everything was electronic.
Right.
And then send them to magazines I wanted to write for. And it actually worked I had written for this magazine in San Diego called Access that was like this glossy, really good looking magazine, and I'd done some cover stories. And so my clips looked really good in it. I was very successful with this. Like big magazines would reach out to me. But I remember this one magazine, I never knew what to do for my cover letter or anything. And I just remember, oh my God, this makes me want to fucking tuck my feet behind my neck. What I wrote on the front was, here are my clips, read them, love them, hire me. That is being folksy.
Yeah.
I mean,
Cool
that is a
as
level
fuck.
of casualness that is, but I mean, so much. I was young.
Right.
I've decided. I've let myself off the hook for everything. Too much
Now-
so by just going like, I was 22. I didn't know anything.
I think I am looking at this through a biased lens just because I love you so much. But as you said it, I didn't have ankles around my neck. No, you didn't make it sound sexual when you said it. What was yours?
Oh, yeah.
Tuck my feet.
No, I
back
did
in
say
a-
ankles behind my neck.
Okay.
But I didn't realize that's could sound sexual. I just mean it in a like, I want to like,
Right.
Crawl
Just
into
ball,
myself.
As much as a
Yeah.
little ball as it,
yeah,
as it
exactly.
could be.
Yeah, I
But
get
yeah, we
that.
should,
Yeah.
that should be, I don't know how you want to put that into a format, but have everybody read your emails from 2003?
Yes.
Or wait.
I don't even know that I have. So I used to have AOL, and
Right.
I often wish that I had access to those emails. They
Yeah.
like disappeared. I don't know where they are.
I was just trying to think. I'm like, what did I have before? Yeah, I think I had Earthlink. Was that a thing?
Yes, it was.
That's real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy. Wild.
You guys, this was so much fun. Thank you
ma'am,
so much. Eric,
This is
did you
ball.
just say something?
I said,
you're-
OMG, this was amazing.
Oh, okay.
This is amazing. It got mumbled, yeah.
No, it was weird. It like cut out on my end. I don't know why. But yeah, this was super duper fun. I would like to remind everyone, Patreon, etc. If you want to send in your Just Me or Everyone, tweet it to @ARIYNBF. And if you want to communicate with us, ARIYNBFshow@gmail.com. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram @Alison Rosen. And if you like what you're hearing, please leave us a nice comment on Apple Podcasts. 5 stars is our favorite number. I periodically read them on the show. I definitely see all of them. And also I'm on Cameo. And I am forgetting my other things that I normally say here, but that's okay because I have decided that I don't need to remind you guys how to listen to a podcast on every episode, just most of them. Daniel, it looks like he's on a work call. So Renee, where might we find you?
Oh, sure. I'm on Instagram, Renee S. Colvert. If you like dogs, Tugboat's in there. He's Tugboat the Fluffy Pit. That's pretty much all we got for social media. And then I'm figured it out. But if you want to catch this, because Allison's going to be on, so you should do that. My Pandemic Makeover Spectacular on Monday. What day is that going to be? The 26th. Allison will be on. So come check out that one.
So soon. Exciting.
I have fucked myself in this turnaround process.
Eric, what about you?
Yes, I'm Eric Jason Martin on all the socials. You can find me there. And check out my book. It's I think I have it here. New Arcadia Stage 1. The audiobook stars Matthew Mercer, Sam Riegel, Eric Aishi, John DiMaggio is the bad guy. Takes you back to the 90s. It's an amazing time. And you can also hear me on The Daily sometimes, the New York Times. And I'm going to be on an episode of the NYT podcast Modern Love coming up pretty soon. So
How cool.
Eric.
I didn't know you're on the Daily.
I'm not on the regular, but I'm on the daily from time to time.
That's really cool. Tony, what about you?
Real quick, you can go back to Daniel real quick. You want to promote anything, Daniel?
D-Quants on the Snappy.
But for me, Twitter and Instagram at
Tony Thaxton.
and my podcast Bizarre Albums every Tuesday, and also check out Song a Week every Wednesday, the Don't Stop or We'll Die podcast. Brand new song every week. I produce that show, play drums on the song every week. And also there's a new Don't Stop or We'll Die record that is a collection of some of the songs from the first several episodes of that show. That record is called Bloom of the Goji, and you can stream that wherever you stream things.
Nice. And I'll do Daniel since he seems to be otherwise occupied. But again, on Patreon, you can watch him talk to his boss or whatever he's doing. But follow him on Twitter and Instagram, Daniel Quantz, and he's been posting his art on Instagram a little bit here and there. So we talked about that earlier, and you can go see that there. I think he's going to come back.
He might be ready.
What happened?
Everything okay?
It's an urgent work matter. And he just kept calling, and it kept interrupting my Zoom, so it would make all your faces go away. And then he was texting me and emailing me, and so I just had to take the call.
Got it.
I didn't want to break in and go, "Excuse me, guys, I just thought I'd take it."
Yeah.
But
well, we just did our plugs, and I want to hear what I said for you was follow you at Daniel Quantz on Twitter and Instagram, and that you've been posting your art a little bit on Instagram.
Yeah, I'm doing that. So hopefully you enjoy that. Maybe I'll pepper it in with some cute pictures of kids and dogs just to keep you strung along. So at Daniel Quantz over there. It's good times. It's a real party. Maybe I'll do some shuffling tutorial videos.
Yeah.
I'll show you guys how to do various dance moves. Whatever will keep you engaged.
Oh, I was shuffling. I'm like, I want to learn fancy shuffling. You don't know how to do that.
That's what I thought he was talking about too.
You mean some kind of dance. All right, you guys. This has been super duper fun. Thank you so much, listeners. I love you. You matter. Fuck.
Thank you for listening.
Thank you. Yeah. By the way, someone wrote
together,
to me, an ardent fan wrote to me and was like, I like everything you do except the you matter, because to me it suggests that your listeners have like chronic low self-esteem. And I get what he's saying, but there are a lot of people who have said that they really like the you matter part of it, and that it like makes them feel good. So
you all matter except for that one guy.
that guy, yeah.
Even people who know they matter, it's still nice to hear.
It's nice to hear
it. Yeah. Thank you for listening. I love you. You matter. Goodbye.
Hey, do you know about the Alison Rosen show?